Hello everyone, welcome back to Nyaya Sansh. In today's video, I'll be discussing Hpu Llm Entrance Question Paper 2025. So question number 1 is, which of the following article in the Constitution legitimizes abrogation of fundamental rights to ensure proper discharge of duties and the maintenance of discipline among forces? So correct option is option number D, Article 33. Okay. Question number 2 is, identify the exceptions to the rule of locus standi. So option C is the correct answer. Question number 3, which of the following is an incorrect as per constitutional provisions? The scheduled and tribal areas are in part 10 of the Constitution, panchayats in part 9, municipalities in part 9b, and relations between the union and the states are in part 11. तो ये इंडेक्स बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है, ठीक है. शेड्यूल्ड एंड ट्राइबल एरियाज पार्ट 10 में दे रखा है, पंचायत पार्ट 9 में दे रखा है, ठीक है. और जो हमारा ऑप्शन डी है, ये वाला जो रिलेशंस बिटवीन द यूनियन एंड द स्टेट्स, ये भी पार्ट 11 में दे रखा है. जो गलत है इसमें वो है हमारा ऑप्शन सी, ठीक है. इन्होंने इनकरेक्ट पूछा है, क्यों? क्योंकि म्युनिसिपैलिटीज को लेके प्रोविजंस 9A में है, 9B कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज के साथ डील करता है. Question number 4. The word liberty in the preamble of the Constitution of India refers to liberty of thought, opinion, belief, religion and worship, of thought, expression, trust, faith and religion, of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, of thought, opinion, trust, faith and worship. So correct answer is option number C. तो preamble based almost हम लोगों को दिख ही जाता है क्वेश्चन हर क्वेश्चन पेपर में, ठीक है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 5, आर्टिकल 368 परमिट्स अमेंडमेंट ऑफ विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग? बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ जुडिशरी, रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ स्टेट्स, फंडामेंटल राइट्स. सो करेक्ट ऑप्शन हियर इज रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ स्टेट्स. क्वेश्चन नंबर 6, व्हाट आर द ग्राउंड्स फॉर इम्पोजिंग नेशनल इमरजेंसी? War, external aggression or armed rebellion, war or insurgency or armed rebellion, war, internal disturbance or armed rebellion, war or breakdown of law and order or armed rebellion. So correct answer here is option number A, war, external aggression or armed rebellion. नेशनल इमरजेंसी का प्रोविजन आर्टिकल 352 में दे रखा है और ये एक्सप्रेसली मेंशन कर रखा है. आर्म्ड रिबेलियन के जगह पहले क्या होता था, इंटरनल डिस्टर्बेंसेस होता था, ये होता था. बट इसको क्या है, इसको इससे सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दिया गया, मतलब आर्म्ड रिबेलियन आ गया इंटरनल डिस्टर्बेंस की जगह. सो दिस वाज सब्स्टिट्यूटेड बाय दिस, ठीक है. बाय व्हिच अमेंडमेंट? बाय 44th अमेंडमेंट एक्ट 1978. Question number 7. The resolution for removing the Vice President of India can be moved in Lok Sabha only, Rajya Sabha only, either of the two houses of the Parliament, joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament. So correct answer here is option number B, in Rajya Sabha only. Next we have, when the court declares that certain provisions of the act is as invalid, it does not affect the validity of the act and it remains as it is. Which principle is it? Doctrine of prospective overruling, doctrine of severability, doctrine of pleasure or doctrine of eclipse? Option B is the correct answer, doctrine of severability. Question number 9, which constitutional amendment reduced the voting rights from 21 years to 18 years? 54th, 36th, 62nd or 61st? So D is the correct answer, 61st Amendment Act. Question number 10, which of the following articles of the Constitution shields legislation from being declared unconstitutional and void? Article 15B, 51A, 31B or 29A? So correct answer here is option C, Article 31B of the Indian Constitution. Question number 11. The Supreme Court's Samata Judgment 1997 nullified all mining leases granted by the state government of Andhra Pradesh in the scheduled areas and has led to led it to stop all mining operations, thus protecting the land of the tribal people. Under which of the following schedules of the Indian Constitution Supreme Court protected the land of the tribal people through this judgment? So correct answer here is Schedule 4, 5, 6 और 9. Schedule 5. So एक और तरीका है शेड्यूल्स को याद करने का, वो है टीयर्स ऑफ ओल्ड पीएम. ये यूट्यूब पे एक वीडियो है, शॉर्ट्स भी हैं, जिसमें आता है टीयर्स ऑफ ओल्ड पीएम. ठीक है, ये क्या है, ये हमारे 12 शेड्यूल्स को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. तो हमारा जो ये 5th है 1, 2, 3, 4 एंड दिस इज 5. दिस इज व्हाट शेड्यूल्ड इन ट्राइबल एरियाज. तो जब ये बात करते हैं शेड्यूल्ड इन ट्राइबल एरियाज की, ठीक है, उनका लैंड ट्राइबल पीपल का, तो शेड्यूल 5 के उसमें हमारे में आ जाते हैं शेड्यूल्ड एरिया से लेके जब हम बात करते हैं. नेक्स्ट इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 12. सीट्स शेल बी रिजर्व्ड इन द हाउस ऑफ पीपल फॉर एसटीज एक्सेप्ट द शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब्स ऑफ autonomous districts of Assam, autonomous district of Himachal Pradesh, autonomous district of Jharkhand, autonomous district of Manipur. So correct answer here is option number A, autonomous districts of Assam. Question number 13. In which landmark legal case it was held that preamble is not part of the Indian Constitution? So preamble को लेकर ही दूसरा क्वेश्चन आ गया. So correct answer here is Beriburi Union case. This case was of the year 1960. Okay. Question number 14. Which article of the Constitution of India deals with the nomination of Anglo-Indian community in State Legislative Assembly? So correct answer here is option number C, Article 333. ओके, बड़ा इजी है, 3-3-3 करके याद रह जाएगा. किससे रिलेटेड है ये? एंग्लो इंडियन कम्युनिटी का जो नॉमिनेशन होगा स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली में, उसके कंटेक्स्ट में. नेक्स्ट वी हैव क्वेश्चन नंबर 15. विच पार्ट of the second schedule of the Constitution deals with the provisions as to the judges of the Supreme Court and of the High Court. ठीक है, तो सेकेंड शेड्यूल का कौन सा पार्ट है जो डील करता है सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट के जजेस को? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का जो सेकेंड शेड्यूल है उसका कौन सा पार्ट है विच डील्स विद द प्रोविजन एज टू द जजेस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड हाई कोर्ट? तो वो है हमारा पार्ट सी, सॉरी पार्ट डी, ऑप्शन सी. ठीक है, पार्ट डी ऑफ द सेकेंड शेड्यूल, पार्ट डी. ओके, क्वेश्चन नंबर 16. तो हम लोग सोफार एक चीज देख सकते हैं कि 15 क्वेश्चन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में से आए हैं. ठीक है, फिर वो चाहे केस लॉज हो, लैंडमार्क केस लॉज हो, ठीक है, इंडेक्स बेस्ड हो, मतलब आर्टिकल नंबर पूछ लिया इन्होंने, या फिर वो कंसेप्ट बेस्ड हो, या कुछ डॉक्ट्रीन्स, राइट, या शेड्यूल्स को लेके, अमेंडमेंट्स को लेके. तो हर एरिया में से क्वेश्चंस पूछे हैं, तो कवर करने पड़ेंगे सारे एरियाज, मेन जो उनके प्रोविजंस है उनको लेके. बाकी चैप्टर्स आप देख सकते हैं, पार्ट्स आप देख सकते हैं इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के कि मेन पार्ट्स पूछते हैं, चाहे फिर वो फंडामेंटल राइट्स को लेकर हो, फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज को लेकर हो, डीपीएसपीज को लेकर हो, हमारे इंडेक्स बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं, फिर इमरजेंसी प्रोविजंस आ जाते हैं, इमरजेंसी वाला पार्ट आ जाता है, और अपना अमेंडमेंट वाला पार्ट आ गया, फिर चलो शेड्यूल बेस्ड तो आ ही रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो ये मेन एरियाज है, मेन कुछ एक चैप्टर्स है, उन्हीं में से सवाल पूछे जाते हैं. और अगर वो लोग कोई आर्टिकल नंबर या पार्ट नंबर या चैप्टर नंबर भी पूछ रहे हैं, वो भी क्या है, मेन जो कंसेप्ट हैं उन्हीं के, मेन जो टॉपिक्स हैं उस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में, उन्हीं में से पूछे जाते हैं. तो आई विल मेक अ सेपरेट वीडियो डिस्कसिंग ऑल दोज एरियाज विच आर इम्पोर्टेंट, नॉट फॉर जस्ट दिस एग्जाम बट फॉर सम अदर एग्जाम्स एज वेल. बाकी आप थोड़ा बहुत अगर आपको देखना है तो मीनवाइल आप यूजीसी नेट का सिलेबस देख सकते हैं. जैसे जो आपका सिलेबस मेंशन कर रखा है ना, इस पे मैं ऑलरेडी एक वीडियो भी बना चुकी हूँ जिसमें पूरा दे रखा है कि क्या क्या सिलेबस होगा HPU LLM का. तो उसमें भी बता रखा है कि आपका ये एरियाज होंगे, जैसे आपका ह्यूमन राइट्स लॉ हो गया, इंटरनेशनल लॉ हो गया, आपका बिजनेस लॉ हो गया, क्रिमिनल, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल. ठीक है, फिर उसके अलावा अगर हम लोग देखें जूरिस्प्रूडेंस में से क्वेश्चंस, एनवायरमेंट लॉ में से क्वेश्चंस. तो अगर आप यूजीसी नेट का सिलेबस देखेंगे ना उठा के, तो दैट विल बी वेरी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू ऑल. ठीक है, इस एग्जाम के लिए, एंट्रेंस के लिए भी. Next, question number 16, compulsory licenses for patents are granted as, ताकि अगर आपको देखना हो ना, बाय द वे आई गेस कोड नंबर 58 है लॉ का, यूजीसी नेट पेपर 2 लॉ कोड 58 है, ठीक है, और वहां से आप ऑनलाइन गूगल पे सर्च कर लोगे यूजीसी नेट पेपर 2 लॉ, सिलेबस का पीडीएफ ऐसे सर्च करना, निकल आएगा, तो वो आप उसको गो थ्रू कर लेना कि जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट एरियाज है वहां से कवर कर सकते हो, उसमें एक्सप्रेसली मेंशन कर रखा है कुछ टॉपिक्स, वो टॉपिक्स कवर कर लेना, बहुत बेनिफिशियल रहेगा इस पेपर के लिए भी। क्वेश्चन 16, ठीक है, अभी हमारा इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट लॉज, ठीक है, आईपीआर देखो बिजनेस के में भी आता है, या कई बार एक कमर्शियल लॉ आता है हेडिंग में यूजीसी नेट के उसमें ना, तो आईपीआर बिजनेस के एम्बेड में आ जाएगा फॉर एचपीयू एलएलएम का एंट्रेंस। तो चलो ये सब चीजें एक सेपरेट वीडियो में डिस्कस करेंगे, फिलहाल हम लोग एक क्वेश्चन पेपर डिस्कस कर लेते हैं। क्वेश्चन नंबर 16, कंपल्सरी लाइसेंसेस फॉर पेटेंट्स आर ग्रांटेड एज स्टैट्यूटरी, ठीक है, ऑप्शन डी। Question number 17. Which provision of Patents Act 1970 states that discovery of any living thing or non-living substance occurring in nature is not an invention? ठीक है, तो सेक्शन 3 हम लोगों को यहाँ से समझ आ रहा है कि इम्पोर्टेंट है इस एक्ट का, यहाँ से क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं। सो ऑप्शन बी इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन, सेक्शन 3 क्लॉज सी से सो। Question number 18. Patent application can be filed in India by whom? True and first inventor, assignee of the inventor, legal representative of the inventor. तो all of the above, ठीक है, सब फाइल कर सकते हैं एप्लीकेशन इंडिया में। Question number 19. The period for which protection to a design is granted by registration under the Designs Act 2000 is 10 years extendable once by another 10 years, 10 years extendable once by another 5 years, 10 years extendable indefinite number of times by 5 years, indefinite number of times by 10 years. So we know that a total of 15 years protection is there, 10 plus 5, so that is 10 years extendable only once by another 5 years. Option B is the correct answer. Question number 20. Upon expiry of registration of a design under Designs Act 2000, it becomes property of the central government, of the state government, public property, property of municipal authorities. So we know once the registration has expired, then that particular piece of design enters public domain. So if it enters public domain, it means it is a public property. So it becomes a public property. Question 21. The term publication under the Copyright Act 1957 means making a work available to the public by issue of copies or by dash the work to the public. So correct answer here is option C, or by communicating the work to the public. So this is dealt by section 3 of the Copyright Act. Question number 22. In the case of original literary, dramatic, musical and artistic work, the duration of copyright is lifetime of the author or artist plus dash many years after death. So that is 60. This question is also repeated क्योंकि इसमें सिंपली क्या है, ड्यूरेशन पूछा है. I'll make a separate video where I'll discuss what are the important areas of different laws that you must go through before the exam. Question number 23. Certification mark can be registered in Trademark Registry, Certification Board, Quality Control Board or MOE. So correct answer here is Trademark Registry. Question number 24. Collective mark is registered by individual, association of persons, partnership firm or company. Correct answer here is association of persons. ठीक है, registers collective mark. Question 25. Budapest Treaty provides for deposit of microorganisms with controller of patents, state government, International Depository Authority or WIPO. This is World Intellectual Property Right Organization. World Intellectual Property Organization. So correct option here is option C, International Depository Authority is. Question 26. Environmental protection and improvement were explicitly incorporated into the Constitution by inserting Articles 48A and 51AG in DPSPs and FDs respectively. We have which Amendment Act? So correct answer here is option C, 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Question number 27. Under the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, which body is empowered to set standard for ambient air quality? Ministry of Home Affairs, Central Pollution Control Board, Ministry of Forest and Environment, State Ministry of Home Affairs. So correct option here is option B, Central Pollution Control Board, that is CPCB. Question number 28. The objective of enactment of NGT Act 2010 was to consolidate environmental laws in the country, to conform to the standards set out by the Vienna Convention of 1961, to take appropriate steps for the protection and improvement of human environment in conformity to the Rio Convention 1992. None of the above. So correct option is option number C. Question number 29. Silence areas comprise an area of not less than dash meters around hospitals, educational institutions and courts as per the Noise Pollution Regulation and Control Rules 2000. So correct answer is option B, 100 meters. 100 meters. अब देखो ऐसे क्वेश्चन है, यू मे बी थिंकिंग कि अब हम सारे रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस तो पढ़ेंगे नहीं, तो एक सिंगल पब्लिकेशन का बुक आता है LLM एंट्रेंस के लिए, ठीक है। वो वैसे ओवरऑल लाइक बहुत सारे यूनिवर्सिटीज के एंट्रेंसेस को मद्देनजर में रखकर बनाया गया है, ठीक है, सिर्फ HPU ओरिएंटेड नहीं है, बट दिस इज द बेस्ट थिंग। लाइक अगर आप इसके थ्योरी को पढ़ लेंगे, ठीक है, या आप इसके PYQs या जितने भी मैं बोलूँ MCQs इसमें दे रखे हैं, वो अगर आप एक बार लगा लोगे, गो थ्रू कर लोगे, अच्छे से समझ लोगे उन कंसेप्ट्स को, फिर भी आपका HPU के LLM का आप मानो कि आप क्वालिफाई तो आराम से कर लेंगे, ठीक है, इस एंट्रेंस एग्जाम को। तो सिंगल पब्लिकेशन का वो बुक जो LLM एंट्रेंस के लिए बना है, मैं अलग से वैसे एक वीडियो में बताऊंगी। सो दिस इज गुड, दिस इज लाइक अ वेरी गुड बुक। तो ये सब चीजें आपको वहां पे मिलेंगी, ठीक है। बहुत कुछ एक क्वेश्चन है जहाँ पे मैं आगे आपको बताऊंगी कौन से क्वेश्चन नहीं मिलते, वरना ये सब चीजें तो मिलती है उसमें। प्लस आप सारे अब स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स को तो नहीं गो थ्रू कर, मतलब उन सब से तो नहीं रिवाइज कर पाओगे या पढ़ पाओगे, तो इसमें बहुत कंसाइज और प्रिसाइज वर्जन में आपका पूरा जो थ्योरी है वो भी दे रखा है मेजर सब्जेक्ट्स का, जैसे टॉर्ट्स, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, क्रिमिनल लॉ एंड व्हाट नॉट, IPR का, जूरिस का, एनवायरमेंटल लॉ का एंड सो ऑन। Next is question number 30. Stream as per section 2J of the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974 does not include river, groundwater, dry water course, inland water, whether natural or artificial. So correct answer here is option number B, that is groundwater. So that is not included within the definition of the term stream. Question number 31. Which of the following is the first declaration the international environmental laws to recognize the right to a healthy environment? So which of the following is the first international level environmental law related declaration which recognize the right to a healthy environment? So that is option number B, Stockholm Declaration. Question number 32. Which environmental legislation in India makes it mandatory to get the prior approval of the central government for the diversion of forest lands for non-forestry purposes? Correct answer here is option A, Indian Forest Act, option number C, Forest Conservation Act 1980. Question number 33. The polluter pays principle has been incorporated in which principle of the Rio Declaration on Environment and Development? So that is principle 16. Option C is the correct answer. Next we have question number 34. Which of the following is not included in the term trade effluent as defined in the Water Act? So here the correct option is option number D, domestic sewage is not included within the definition. ऐसे कुछ क्वेश्चन है जो आप एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक के साथ भी कर सकते हो, ठीक है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 35. What is the period of notice required to be served upon the central government for filing a complaint by any person under the provisions of Environment Protection Act 1986? So correct answer here is option B, not less than 60 days. Question number 36. No substituted performance of contract shall be undertaken unless the party who suffers such breach has given a notice in writing of not less than how many days to the party in breach, calling upon him to perform the contract within such time as specified in the notice, and on his refusal or failure to do so, he may get the same performed by a third party or by his own agency. So the time stipulated here is 30 days. Question number 37. A special or temporary right to the present possession of movable property is sufficient to support a suit under this section. So this is provided under which section? It's provided under section 7, explanation 2. Section 7, explanation of 2 of which act? Of the Specific Relief Act. Okay. Next is question number 38. When the defendant invades or threatens to invade the plaintiff's right to or enjoyment of property, the court may grant perpetual injunction in which of the following case as per clause 3 of section 38. यहाँ पे भी किस एक्ट की बात हो रही है? SRA की, Specific Relief Act की. So the options are where the defendant is a trustee of the property, where he is the agent, or in order to prevent the multiplicity of judicial proceedings. So option A or C दोनों सही हैं. So we'll go for option D, which says only A and C. Question number 39. Where there is a contract for the sale of specific or ascertained goods, the property in them is transferred to the buyer at such time as the parties to the contract intend to be transferred, as the buyer only intend to get it transferred, depends upon circumstances of the case, at such time as the seller only intended to transfer. So correct option here is option number A. This is from Sales of Goods Act. Question number 40. Where there is an agreement to sell goods on the terms that the price is to be fixed by the valuation of a third party, and such third party cannot or does not make such a valuation. The agreement is, this is also from SOGA Act. So the agreement here is avoided. Question number 41. In what circumstances an unpaid seller who has possession of the goods may exercise lien over the goods? Again, this is the rights of unpaid seller. It is a right of unpaid seller. कौन सा right है? Right to exercise lien. ठीक है, तो ये कब exercise कर सकता है? Where the goods have been sold on credit but the term of credit has expired, where the buyer becomes insolvent, where the goods have been sold without any stipulation as to credit, or all of the above. So इन तीनों सिनारियोज में राइट ऑफ लियन एक्सरसाइज कर सकता है, जहाँ गुड्स क्रेडिट पे सोल्ड करी गई थी बट दैट टर्म ऑफ क्रेडिट हैज एक्सपायर्ड, buyer becomes insolvent, where the goods have been sold without any stipulation as to credit. Question number 42. Goods are said to be in a deliverable state when the seller is ready to deliver the goods, when they are in such state that the buyer would under the contract be bound to take delivery of them, when the seller and buyer both are ready to give and take the possession of goods, when the buyer is ready to purchase the goods. So correct option here is Option B. Such state when the buyer would under the contract be bound to take the delivery. Next question is question number 43. In a contract for sale of specific goods, the goods without the knowledge of seller perished at the time when the contract was made. The contract is voidable at the instance of seller, voidable at the instance of buyer, voidable subject to approval of civil code, or void. Answer is option number D. It will be void. Question number 44. Where no provision is made by contract between the partners for the duration of their partnership or the determination of their partnership, the partnership is called partnership at will. Option C. Question number 45. A transfer by a partner of his interest in the firm, either absolute or by mortgage, or by the creation by him of a charge on such interest, does entitle the transferee during the continuance of the firm. So here the correct option is option C, only to receive the share of profits of the transferring partner, and the transferee shall accept the account of profits agreed to by the partners. Question number 46. Penalty for furnishing false particulars to the registrar of firms. So the penalty for furnishing false particular to the registrar of firm, this is from Partnership Act. This as well as from Partnership Act. This as well as from Partnership Act. This is from Sales of Goods Act. Okay, so the penalty here is 3 months or with fine or both. 3 months. Question number 47. Who among the following presided as acting chairperson of NHRC? So correct answer here is Dr. Justice Shri Dr. शिवराज V पाटिल. ठीक है, तो ये ध्यान रख लेना, ये ऐसे अभी इस बार का भी जो हमारे करंटली जो चेयरपर्सन चेक कर लेना कौन है. Which of the following types of rights Question number 48. Which of the following types of rights have been described as first generation human rights? So correct answer here is civil and political rights. These are first generation human rights. These are second generation human rights. Then we have third generation human rights, fourth, fifth generation. So this also I'll discuss in the notes. Question number 49. Which philosopher called the idea of natural rights nonsense on stilts? So the correct answer here is option number D, Jeremy Bentham. Question number 50. How many articles does UDHR contain? Answer is 30. तो कुछ एक क्वेश्चंस तो ऐसे हैं जो बहुत रिपीट हो रहे हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 51. Section 181 of the BNSS, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, is for the protection of witnesses. Question number 52. As per Schedule 1 of the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, 2023, if it is not specifically mentioned whether an offence under special enactment is cognizable or not, an offence punishable with imprisonment for less than dash years is non-cognizable offense. Answer is 3 years. Question number 53. The central government or the state government may appoint for the purposes of any case or class of cases a person who has been in practice as an advocate for not less than how many years as a special public prosecutor? Answer is 7 years. Question number 54. Again, BNSS का section which deals with power of magistrate to arrest. So the correct option here is B, section 44. Question number 55. Section of BNSS which allows person making arrest to seize offensive weapons. So correct answer is section 52. Question 56. De minimis non curate lex. Law does not concern itself with trifles. Option A. Question number 57. Good faith as per the definition of भारतीय न्याय संहिता BNS. ये भी BNS का है. ठीक है, उससे पहले हम लोगों ने BNSS के डिस्कस करे. तो गुड फेथ का मतलब क्या है? Act done with due care and attention. ठीक है, तो पहले भी एक BYQ में है, वहां पे लिखा हुआ था इंटेंशन, तो इंटेंशन नहीं, attention is the correct word used. Question number 58. A finds a purse with money not knowing to whom it belongs. He afterwards discovers that it belongs to B and appropriates to his own use. A is guilty of dishonest misappropriation of property. Question number 59. A, an officer of a court, being ordered by that court to arrest Y, and after due inquiry believing Z to be Y, arrests C. A has committed no offence under which section of Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita? Section 14. Question number 60. A prostitute suffering from communicable disease has sexual intercourse with a man representing that she was free from any disease, commits unnatural offence, hurt, cheating or mischief. So correct answer is cheating. Option C. Question number 61. Under which section of the Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam the opinion of examiner of electronic evidence is a relevant fact? So answer is section 41 subsection 2. Question number 62. Declaration relating to existence of relationship by blood marriage or adoption is mentioned under section 26 E and F. According to section 60 of Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam, the secondary evidence can be admitted in how many exceptional cases? 7 exceptions are there. Question number 64. Section 53 of BSA deal with the rule that fact in issue and relevant facts must be proved by evidence either oral or documentary. The facts of which court can take judicial notice, admitted facts which need not be proved, the facts which show the character of the parties. Option C. Admitted facts which need not be proved. International Year for Human Rights. Option A, B, C. Correct is B, 1968. Question number 66. When did Protection of Human Rights Act came into force? So this came into force in which month? September. What date? 28th September. Question number 67. Which of the following are considered as third generation human rights? Individual rights, collective rights, political rights or right to marry? So correct answer here is collective rights. UDHR was adopted under whose chairmanship? So the correct answer here is option number C, Eleanor Roosevelt. Question number 69. Who's the author of the book Human Rights and Inhuman Wrongs? So the correct answer here is V.R. Krishna Iyer. Question number 70. Who championed the concept of inherent rights of a man? So the answer here is Thomas Jefferson. Question number 70. Toba doctrine is related to recognition of a state, government, insurgents or belligerents. Answer is option B. Question number 72. The Alabama Claims Arbitration 1872 established certain principles of neutrality. Option B. Question number 73. Remunio and requestioni case are test cases of extradition of political offenders. Again, this is a repeated question. Question number 74. The concept of the open sea, also known as the freedom of the seas, was famously elaborated by Hugo Grotius. Option A. Question number 75. The term terra nullius means territory belonging to no state. Option C. Question number 76. Who said that international law is not true law but a positive international morality? John Austin. Option A. Question number 77. Which of the following options describes doctrine of renvoi the best? It's a legal doctrine applied when court is faced with conflict of law. It is in relation to foreign issues arising in succession planning. It is a legal doctrine applied in cases of international trade law. It is a legal doctrine used for criminal cases at International Criminal Court. So the correct answer here is option A. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ लॉ के टाइम पे आता है हमारा ये डॉक्ट्रिन. प्राइवेट इंटरनेशनल लॉ में ये पढ़ा होगा. ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चन क्या है? प्राइवेट इंटरनेशनल लॉ का है. Question number 78. The theory that no court ever applies any other law but its own, nor enforces any rights or obligations other than those created by its own law, is based on local law theory. Option D. Question number 79. In modern usage, international humanitarian law refers to the whole, jus and bello, in both its Geneva and Hague dimensions. Option C. Question number 80. Geneva law and Hague law are two principal subdivisions of jus and bello. Differ in that Geneva law is concerned with the protection of victims of warfare and Hague law is concerned with the methods and means of armed conflict. Originate from different series of treaties. Geneva law is based primarily on the 4 1949 conventions. Hague based on 1899 and 1907 Hague Convention. So all the answers are correct. Question number 81. The theory of utility was propounded by Jeremy Bentham. Ownership is just recognition of a claim. It's de jure. ठीक है. पोजेशन क्या होता है? पोजेशन होता है डी फैक्टो और ऑनरशिप होता है हमारा डी ज्योर रिकॉग्निशन. अब ग्रैंड नॉर्म किसने propound किया था? हंस केल्सन ने. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 84. देखो कौन से इनकरेक्टली मैच्ड है. इनकरेक्टली. अब सोशल सॉलिडारिटी का हमें पता है, इन्हीं का काम है. ग्रैंड नॉर्म हम लोगों ने यहीं अभी मार्क करा कि हंस केल्सन ने करा है. ठीक है. वॉल की चीज तो हमें 100% पता है, सेवेजनी ने करा है. देखो जो सोशल इंजीनियरिंग है, ये इनके लिए कौन फेमस है भाई? इनके लिए रॉस्को पाउंड फेमस है. रॉस्को या रॉजियो? रॉस्को पाउंड. ठीक है. और ये जो है हमारा ऑस्टिन, ये भी गलत है. ठीक है, बिकॉज जो फिलोसॉफिक कैलकुलस है वो ऑस्टिन से रिलेटेड नहीं है इन व्हाटसोएवर टर्म्स. तो जब हमें ये पता चल जाता है कि ए बी और ई सही है, तो जहां जहां जिस ऑप्शन में ए है वो काट देंगे, ई वाला काट देंगे, बी वाला काट देंगे. जिस ऑप्शन में हमारे में ए बी या डी है, सॉरी ए है, बी है, यहाँ पे ए है, यहाँ पे डी है, यहाँ पे ए है, यहाँ पे बी है, तो ये सब कट गए, बचा क्या? ऑप्शन बी, ठीक है, सी एंड ई। '85. Jurisprudence is the study and systematic arrangement of general principles of law. Who said this? This was said by Keaton C.G. The theory of separation of powers. The theory of separation of powers is credited to Montesquieu. Which of the following theories of punishment provides for that crime is a disease and the object shall be to cure it? The reformative theory. 88. In the light of the statements given below, choose the most appropriate answer. All human beings are not legal persons. State is a juristic person. So the correct here is option D. The first statement is correct, but the second one is incorrect. Sorry, first is incorrect, second is correct. Because all human beings are not, okay, this is also correct because all human beings may not be legal persons. All human beings are not legal persons. Yes, because हर कोई human being legal person नहीं होता है, because जो जैसे कुछ incapable persons है, ठीक है, जो capable नहीं है, incapacity है जिनके और जिनमें some or the other senses, जैसे कुछ lunatic हो गए. You don't need. All human beings are not legal persons. State is a juristic person. Yes. So both statements are correct. Option A. Question number 89. American realist Judge Jerome Frank described his own attitude towards realism as one of constructive skepticism. Question number 19. What is the correlative of immunity? Disability. Question number 91. A company is named as government company if it holds more than 50% of the pair share capital. 92. A prospectus which does not include complete particulars of the quantum or price of the securities included in it. It is what? It is red herring prospectus. Question number 93. The case of Solomon versus Solomon and Company Limited lays the principle of separate legal entity. Question number 94. What are the circumstances when a director may be held personally liable? So he may be held personally liable where he has agreed to personally guarantee or otherwise secure the financial obligations of a company. '95. Till now, preamble of the Constitution has been amended how many times? So only once. When? Via 42nd Amendment Act. 96. Which article of the Constitution of India reflects Walkji's theory of Sabachini? So that is Article 34. Question number 97. How does a company differ from a partnership firm in terms of ownership transfer? So it differs because partners can easily transfer their ownership shares, but in company it's not possible to transfer the shares that easily. कंपनी में क्या है, कंसेंट चाहिए होता है शेयरहोल्डर्स का. Question number 98. What a limited liability partnership? What is a limited liability partnership? So where partnership in which some or all of the partners exhibit elements of partnership and corporation. So where the duration is no fixed term, that is partnership at will. Question number 99. What is key characteristic of a company that distinguishes it from an LLP? That is a limited liability partnership. So in LLP, partners have limited liability protection and more control over the management of the business. While in a company, shareholders have limited liability protection, but the management is carried out by appointed directors. Question number 10. Washington Convention, whose formal name is abbreviated as CITES, is related to whom? It's related to endangered species. So thank you so much and stay tuned for more such videos.